We are back. Thank you so much for waiting, guys. Obviously, got to wait for players to transfer from the main stage to the auditorium, or from the auditorium main stage to the player area to play other matches and stuff like that. Then videos have to be done. But also, we had some technical issues on SpeCial's PC, which have been fixed now. They've been resolved. And so we're going to go jumping on into SpeCial versus herO. Terran versus Protoss. I think this might be our only PvT we get to cast in this group. After this, it's going to be PvP Central, I think. But for now, let's introduce some players to the top right-hand side. Our red, Protoss. This is herO. Up against the blue Terran. In the bottom left-hand side, we have got SpeCial. As we get this ready to go in game number 1, SpeCial coming out of a close series against Stats. A 1-2 loss for him. Looked great in game 1. I didn't catch as much as game number 2 or 3 as I should have done, considering that I was on break. But that Raven that went down in game 3 was such a shame. The thing is, Stats is so good at just warping in that 1 high Templar. Like, sometimes I feel like he gets his Templar archives quicker than usual to get the 1 high Templar, just to feed back that Raven. He did it in a series I casted between himself and Innovation not so long ago. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy to watch. It's pretty fun to watch as well, as we do look to see what happens, though, in this TVP this time around. We'll see what sort of build SpeCial's going to bring out, see what herO's got to bring to the table, as herO, so far in this group, an 0-2 loss against Zest. I mean, I don't think you can beat yourself up too much about that. Zest's very good, we know that. And, well, yeah, Zest's very good. And he's been definitely one to watch out for lately. Definitely expecting to come out top of the group. I mean, it's always tough when you put Zest and herO together, because they're both so good. But I think Zest has definitely had more results than herO as of late. So I wouldn't say it's I wouldn't say it's the end of the world for herO. It's a loss. He can overcome it. You know, you look at some of these other matches, and I think, you think Patience and Creator are maybe some easier opponents, although Patience has been on a roll in PvP as well lately. But if you can take down a couple of those guys and maybe SpeCial here, you're still looking at getting out of the group. One series is not going to define your entire run here in this group stage of IEM Katowice. Our early build, SpeCial is going to delay the command center to go for a bit of a faster factory. So opting for this faster factory here, potentially just going to be seeing the starport coming down as well. So really just teching up quickly in the early stages. CC about to drop, so probably not as... Depends what he wants to do. If he tech labs up, he could go in towards a Cyclone. It is a Wood of Mine, so starport will come down. He has the gas to afford it. We do see that Warp Gate, the Stalker, on the way out, getting set to go. Nexus on the way down from herO, of course, just getting going with his expansion. There's a little bit of a later Nexus, though, as well. He plays kind of the Cybercore before it, so already herO here making some decisions, which is a little bit more potentially aggression-focused. It's also potentially a bit safer, but he hasn't scouted, so he has no reason to be playing safer against the fact that this is a factory before expansion from SpeCial. Going to be seeing the starport finishing in a moment or two. The Twilight Council building up from herO in the main base. The gateway coming down with it. And we do see this hallucinated Phoenix from herO starting to move down to the bottom left-hand side. So a little bit of information for our Protoss play here. Figure out what the Terran is going to go for, what the choice is going to be. And as he scouts in, I mean, you see the non-tech lab / reactive factory in the starport. So you're thinking something like Widow Mine drop, maybe Hellions. You see a lot of Marines. You know, Marine Widow Mine drop's definitely a possibility. Obviously, that's what this is going to be. I think SpeCial's then going to run by with a few Hellions as well, or just the one Hellion, actually. Going to build another Widow Mine. Okay. Goes straight into the tech lab on the starport, too. And obviously sets him up to potentially go in towards a Cloak Banshee play. As we do see that tech lab just about halfway done. Barracks, another one coming over as well. Getting set to switch in towards the bio as a follow-up. Could be just for this Raven as well, of course. But there is the Cloak, and it looks as though it will be Banshees this time around, unless that's really just a fake out. 2 Hellions are deflected by Stalkers and a Sentry at the moment, although drop into the main, and herO is so out of position. Warps in 2 Stalkers, warps in a 3rd as well. Pros begin to pull away. Widow Mine unburrows to minimize any splash damage that could be friendly fire as Hellions go into the natural. This is going to be a lot of probes. There's no defense here. 9-10 workers already. The Furies get out alive. The Hellions are still going for it. This is not done yet. 12 workers killed now, chasing down for one more worker kill, and he might get that final shot off for 14 probes. herO has taken an insane amount of early game damage. No defense set up on the natural. The warp-ins came into the main, and as he warped into the main, he also pulled his natural units into the main base as well, so he left nothing to defend the low ground. And those Hellions just went to town. Only 2 Hellions, that's all it was needed. As we see this pylon coming down, but that's spotted already. Love the Unburrow, because he's got Marines to deal with this probe. He doesn't need to waste his Widowmine shot on it. He can use that on something else. And he does Unburrow again, just to make sure he does use it on something else. Stalker's pressing forwards, though that Widowmine will be somewhat nullified by the blink back. And I think at this point, herO probably knows it's there. Ooh, Hallucination can give him high ground vision. Blinks into the main. SCVs will pull forwards to block the Stalkers, chasing down the siege tank for a moment at least. News coming up from the high ground, from the low ground as well. There's the blink. There goes the siege tank. Stalkers, yes, committed to the main, but there's not really any threat right now. SpeCial doesn't have a lot of army supply. Only Marines building another tank. A Banshee on the way out as well. He's already got 1 Banshee on the map, and it is across the map dealing some damage. 3 probes killed, but that's nothing compared to the 18 SCVs lost here. There's Marine after Marine going down. And this is just such a typical way for Automaton to go with this so much surface area across the side of the main base. It's surprising SpeCial didn't have something like a bunker here in the main to help him defend, as he is picking off probes on the other side. So he is dealing a lot of damage if he can just clean this army up, but it just looks like that's so difficult. But he does have the Banshee, and there's no Observer, which could be completely game-changing at the moment. This Banshee is making a lot of kills. A couple of Marines gets into the bunker with one of them. I mean, you need as much as you can get here. This Banshee is out of energy, doesn't have the money to build another, especially not the gas. Banshee in the main base has to be careful too, because the Stalker will warp in, blink after it. The thing is, as soon as another Stalker comes in here, this Banshee gets shut down, and these probes obviously going to keep on mining. There's 14 probes to 5 SCVs. herO goes back up to the high ground. A couple of mules that weren't mining here before. The SCVs are running across the map. SpeCial can play for a draw. herO really needs to try and get an Observer out to shut down these Banshees. He did lose that second Banshee, right? No, he kept it alive. Okay, if he can kill all the probes, this could become a draw, because he can lift the buildings, and there's not necessarily a way for herO to clean up those buildings if they hide in a dead airspace, like down here, for example. There go the Banshees, coming in before the shield battery is ready. 5, 4. There's 3 probes, there's 3 probes left. There's only 3 probes left. Banshees get away while uncloaked. There's only 3 probes left. A robo facility begins. If you get a robo up, you get the Observer. If you get the Observer, you have detection. And with the detection, what you're going to be able to do is make sure those Banshees don't kill the last couple of probes. Oh my gosh. One of the probes on this side of the map, by the way, there's a couple of SCVs are chasing a Stalker. Command center here, just mine with a couple of mules. He's building some Marines. Anything you can get right now. Anything you can get. Mules on the top side as well. SpeCial is mining more than herO at this current moment in time. herO's 14 army supply to the 10 of SpeCial as the mules get found on this bottom side orbital. Time for that to lift up and relocate. SpeCial's getting a Marauder out. How about that for something that can maybe have an effect in this game? Where are our Banshees? They've come back home. I wonder if they want to get repaired, then go back on the map. Observer is on the way out now. Can this orbital get away without burning? It's actually very important, because if it burns down, you're kind of on a timer before you have to bring it back into position. I think it's just going to start burning, yes. That's so frustrating. Well, obviously you have to repair it as well as those Stalkers coming forwards. There's no concussive shell here, right? So these Stalkers shouldn't have a terrible time against the Marauder, and they can generally kite, but going up the high ground is going to be very difficult. The Banshee's about to be repaired as SpeCial sets up gas on this top side. herO doesn't know about that base. Oh, this orbital command is so low. You do not want to lose that just because the mule's so good. There's the blink to save the Stalkers from the Marauder shots. Oh man, this game. You see more Stalkers. Probes even coming across the map here. Oh wow. So herO's going to abandon his bases because he has an Observer, I think, is the reasoning here. He's going to blink on top of the Banshees. Banshees get one of the probes. SpeCial's going to type out GG. He knows with the Observer up, the Banshees can't really force a tie any longer. And so herO will take game number 1 in a scrappy first game. That Observer was absolutely incredible. That Observer saves the game for herO. Getting that robo up, getting the Observer out. Obviously, at that point, you don't lose enough probes to not mine, right? And if you have the probes to mine, you can eventually get a Stargate and shut down flying terror buildings, right? So that's what just went on. That was a fun game. I liked it. It was a very fun game. Alright. We're getting ready to jump into game number 2 in a couple of moments. hero's also pulling the probes across the map, and I would imagine it was to be I imagine it was going to be to kind of surround the Marauder, perhaps? Because he knew he could win the game with his Stalkers, I think, was the plan. That's crazy. Okay, a couple of moments just waiting for our game to get hosted by our admin. We'll be into game number 2. Katowice Junction going to be our second map here. I mean, I don't even know what to expect after that first game. It's one of those games where you're like, what was this? Like, what just happened? It was crazy. Okay, let's get ready for game number 2 then. As we do just have our players join the lobby. All of our observers jumping in here as well. It seems like a lot of people trying to avoid those PvP matchups and jumping in on the PvT. Again, unfortunately for us, there's going to be some PvP after this series. But well, I say unfortunately, we're going to get to watch Patience Zest, that GSL rematch, which is actually a rematch because they actually rematched in the GSL. Patience able to come out twice above Zest. So that'll be Patience Zest. Then we're going to have Patience herO as well. Currently, Zest creator over on the mainstream is 102 Zest. And it does mean that, well, it depends on when our series lasts and stuff like that. But hopefully it means that Patience Zest will come fairly soon after SpeCial herO. If Zest wins quickly on the main stage, we can grab those players and grab them in here and get started nice and quickly. Hopefully have a little less downtime than we had between our first series of the day and the second. As we jump into game number 2 of Katowice Junction. Let's see what the players have to say about this one. Down the map in the top left-hand side, our blue Terran. Spam the Dorito, guys, because this is Juanito, aka SpeCial. Bottom right-hand side, our red Protoss. This is herO, who is up 1-0, recovering from an 0-2 loss against Zest to open his IEM Katowice 2019 group stages. herO, the Prince of IEM, he was called for a while because he's won so many of the IEM tournaments throughout the years. And, well, we're only excited to see even more from him going into the future here. It was a bit of a shame because herO in 2018 had to take a little bit of a step away from the scene, personal reasons. He was not active for a little while. And as he was not active for a little while, I would say he definitely did drop off away from the player he used to be. But he's definitely back, and I feel like every series I see from him, he looks more and more deadly. He looks more and more like the herO of old that we know and that we love. So great to see him back and competing again for 2019. There's the 2 racks opening, getting set up here on Katowice. Probe getting pulled across the map, nibbling that SCV a little bit. The other SCV being pulled in to fight this. Now, it's a double rack, so the second rack is actually across the map here. herO will once again go Cyber Core before the Nexus, so really very safe about this, using these structures to wall off the Reaper jump-in path here as well, which can help to nullify information as the game continues. Tech Lab builds on the proxied barracks, going to be able to go into Marauders, concussive shells, and at home, he'll probably just build up a couple of Marines. The idea being to get those Marines out, don't lose the SCV, get those Marines out, they'll go across the map and join the Marauders for a very early game push. And if you don't have a shield battery at the front, this push can deal so much damage, but with a pylon already down, it looks as though herO is already preparing for something, because then he can get the shield battery down nice and quickly and get going from there. It is going to be an adept out of the gateway, though. That's something you got to be a little careful about. Oh, there's probe hiding in the natural. This is really good, because the longer he sits here, the longer he sees no expansion. The longer you see no expansion, the more you figure out, oh, okay, I see how this is going. I see how this is. Probe pulls back up to the high ground as the Marines able to pick that probe off. So probe goes down, and we are just seeing we are just seeing SpeCial now about to get that concussive shell. So the time for him to push is very, very soon. Tell you what, this Adept's going to be out of position though. There's still no shield battery on the low ground. I thought the lack of an expansion would have maybe warned herO about this a little bit. He does set up the robot facility, sees 2 SCVs and the Marines starting to come over. I think you just leave this Adept to shade if he wants to. You have to keep pressing forwards here. See 2 gateways coming down, but that pylon's going to be under attack. Bunker coming down here as well will section off this area a little bit. Remember, you've got concussive shells, so you can chase down a Stalker if you get the first hit on it. Pylon will drop, and that means the shield battery will not be powered unless this second pylon comes up as well. So he actually does get another pylon here. Third Marauder shows up, and well, has to go through a bit of a choke point now, but there's not enough to really hold this here. That shield battery being targeted is a big priority because the shield battery is absolutely game-changing in terms of what it can do, healing these Stalkers up. One of the Marauders down, though the second Marauder down as well. The probe pull absolutely essential at the moment to help defend this. Only 2 workers lost, and now the shield battery is up, and that's a game-changer. Still 2 Marauders, though. It's not over just yet, as the probe count's still dropping as well. Remember, SpeCial still doesn't have an expansion behind us, so you really need some really serious damage. But I feel with 2 Stalkers here, he's got enough damage output to push this away. The shield battery's done some good healing to buy some time as well. I say that, but now the Stalker's taking a lot of serious damage. Good micro back on that one single Marauder. The other one at the front here still wailing away, might just get that Stalker before it goes down, and the other Marauder shows up. It's a Marauder versus Stalker, but the probe assistance will be enough to keep the Stalker healthy for a little while at least. Now another probe goes down though. hero's still taking damage here, but again, still no expansion from SpeCial back at home. Still no follow-up. His tech lab's over here. If he wants to start stim, it's out on the map, so his bio follow-up isn't even that strong. The Stalker's going to force the cancel on the bunker. The 2 gateways at the front struggling to be powered. If he powers these, he has so many more war pins available. And this attack almost becomes nullified as the probes will tank the shot on the Marauders. Missing the concussive shells then on the Stalker. Because of that, Stalker 4 Marauder here. The gateways are going to be able to warp in now, so herO has enough production to deal with this. Chases down that other Marauder, gets away before this Marauder gets the shot off, and that should be enough to clean out. And SpeCial knows how committed this attack was. He knows he has no real expansion back at home. He just didn't do enough. He killed about 5 or 6 probes at most, and 6 probes just was not enough here, as herO will take game number 2, and SpeCial will start off this group 0-2, losses against Stats and herO, with Zest, Patience, and Creator left to play.